Hi, this is Josh Oakes with MediaLeaders.com. I'm excited on this video to feature my friends at ONTRAPORT who are going to teach us 5 marketing automation tips to grow in 2015. A lot of these tips we've used here at MediaLeaders.com. I'm really pumped to have ONTRAPORT here sharing some of these best practices with us. I'm going to turn this video over to my friend Dan DeAngelis at ONTRAPORT, who's going to walk us through the 5 tips that we need to know. Dan, welcome to the video.
Hey, thanks, Josh. I really appreciate it. I'm excited to be here today. Yeah, so I work at ONTRAPORT, which is a software company that supports online entrepreneurs with tools to grow their business. Essentially, I work with business owners and entrepreneurs to help figure out what part of their business we can scale, automate, and streamline. And so I put together some good content today from my thousands of conversations with clients, the kind of 5 recurring themes that I see keep coming up.
Awesome. Well, walk us through. What do you look like?
There I am, right there. I'm that handsome devil on the side there.
Great. Great. Well, I'm excited what you're going to share with us. So let's dive right on into it without further ado.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Josh. So let's get started with the secret sauce. The secret sauce, I have 5 tips, like I said. Tip number 1, is your funnel as attractive as you think? So we're going to talk a little bit about taking a real stock of your funnel and looking at it from an unbiased perspective. If you don't have a funnel, that's fine. These are going to be some valuable insights into how to build a funnel. Tip number 2 is building strong relationships that last. So this seems obvious, but it's the golden rule, and it's just so important in business, right? So we'll go a little bit into how to build strong relationships and nurture those over time. Tip number 3, create a high engagement automated system to keep your contacts interested. Now this is what I do for a living, right? Figuring out how to take our daily recurring tasks and streamline them so that there's no errors and we don't drop balls. Tip number 4, start simple and build out. This one is so important. So time and again, people will kind of come to ONTRAPORT and they want everything all at once. It's shiny toy syndrome. And they forget the reason why they came here in the first place is because they know there's something that's a pain point or there's something that can be better. So I'll go a little bit into this as well. And tip number 5, finally, after we've pulled off the perfect funnel and we have people moving through and revenue coming in, how do we know that we're actually getting the success we want? How do we know that we're in alignment with our goals?
Awesome. That's great.
Okay, so here we go. Tip number 1 is your funnel as attractive as you think. So creating a great funnel is born from starting with the end user in mind and working backwards from there. What I like to do is look through my email box and see what service have I been subscribed to for months or years. And there's got to be a good reason why I haven't hit unsubscribe and I'm still following them. And so I'll go through their funnel and I'll look for what I really like. Oftentimes it's authenticity, kind of being open and honest. But also what content is displayed and where, right? So is your funnel as attractive as you think? Just making sure that it's pretty. On all interfaces, that it shows up right.
And when you say that it shows up right, give us a better example of that. Can you talk to that for a quick sec?
Absolutely. So I use a tool called listmas.com. And what that does is it runs my emails through every browser, every platform, iPhone, Android, and it kind of gives me an idea of what it's going to look like. Because otherwise I just assume the email is going to look right, but by the time somebody actually views it, the print is too small so they don't take the time to read it, or the image doesn't display. All of those little things matter just because people have pretty short attention spans when it comes to emails.
And those of you that are watching the video, it's litmus.com. Is that correct?
Exactly. That's right.
Awesome.
Okay, so this screen that we're looking at here, this slide, is what we call a sequence. A sequence is a funnel. It's just ONTRAPORT lingo for building your funnel. You'll notice that we have 6 steps available, and I'm not going to go into each one, but what I do want to point out is that you'll notice that this is a seamless drip of content over time, starting with email, text messages, postcards. So, a funnel isn't just emails, although a lot of people think that they are, Josh.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And notice in there that there's postcards, there's all kinds of different things that were in that. That's awesome.
Okay, so again, to kind of wrap up on tip number 1 here, is your funnel as attractive as you think? So these are 4 things that I really think are imperative if you want to have a good following and have people not unsubscribe. So first, we have hosting helpful and insightful blog content with frequently updated articles. Next, we have lead capture forms with free ebooks and white paper downloads. So we got to give them bait, and that's something I just, I missed in the beginning here. We got to make sure that you have value and an offer that's attractive in exchange for their contact information.
Mm-hmm.
Next is webinars featuring industry thought leaders addressing relevant topics and/or concerns. Josh, you probably know a lot about this one here.
Yeah, we're doing that right now. We're sharing with people how they can improve their business.
That's right, exactly. And then finally, sharing useful industry-specific content on social networks. So make sure that your reach is far. Make sure that you're not just relying on your blog or your homepage of the website. You want to make sure that there's multiple channels out there in ether to present your content to people.
So before we move on to the next slide, I think everybody that's watching this video, it's very important to realize that you have something out there that you can help others with. And these 4 bullets are extremely important. Forget about your funnel for just a sec. This is about helping people and knowing how to attract their information and kind of harvest their information. So first, the insightful and helpful blog. There's got to be something that your business knows that people come to you all the time, FAQs perhaps. Hey, how do I do this? And you should be answering that on a blog post and sharing it with others, giving away your industry knowledge and experience that you're going to give away on the phone anyways. Second, next to it, you need to have a lead capture form with a free download or an offer, something that's so valuable that Dan's going to show you in a few minutes, that you are offering more value than you're asking for. And you're asking for their email address and maybe one other piece of information. And then next, you should be sharing stuff. Everything should be a teachable moment. That's what we're doing today. We're sharing with you for free a few tips you can use to grow your business. And then last, sharing useful industry-specific content on social networks. Anything you're doing, send it far and wide. Doesn't mean you're going to blow up your business with Twitter or Facebook. It just means you should have multiple places to get discovered.
That's absolutely right, Josh. And I think a lot of people are worried to give out too much value in their business without charging for it. But the truth is that it's a lot easier to ask for that sale if you've already proved your value and given them so much you've made a difference already.
Yeah, and just as a side note, I've got a new social media safety book coming out for teens and tweens. I give away all of my content nationwide to 20,000 people, 100% free, and I tell the schools, look, if you can't afford to hire me to come to your school, please use my tips, train one of your teachers, have them try and recite my tips. They're pretty darn good. They've been battle tested, and the kids are going to listen to them. But I give them so much knowledge and free stuff that they go, you know what, we have to hire the author. We've got to get you here. So that's part of how attractive is my funnel. I figured out how to give away tons of good content, and then people are opting in. Okay, enough about me. I'll let you go on. Sorry, Dan.
No, that's great information, Josh. I appreciate it. And to just kind of wrap up with, is your funnel as attractive as you think? Cristo and Francesca from Basic Bananas started with 4 event attendees at their first event. They both quit their day jobs and wanted to go into business together, and they came over to ONTRAPORT. And once they did, they were able to create these automated funnels, or AKA sequences, and drip out content in such a way that got people excited. They actually called it the Excite sequence. Mm-hmm. From the first day they implemented that, Josh, they went from 4 event attendees, and now today they're between 200 to 300 event attendees, and they're doing events all through the year.
That's awesome. So walk us through this. What does this look like? They started with $10,000 a month.
Right. Mm-hmm, that's right. So these are the results, right? They started with $10,000 a month in revenue. Not bad. But after implementing several funnels, now they're up to $100,000 a month.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Customers, they've gone from 500 customers to over 1,100 now. And then, like I said before, the event attendees is just awesome. I mean, they're not just doing 1 or 2 events a year. This is the backbone of their business, and they're able to engage people all the way up to the event after and upsell them to the next level of service or the next event.
Yeah, and you can see they doubled the amount of customers they have, but they've multiplied their income by 10, which is awesome.
Exactly. That's right. And Josh, you were just kind of talking about giving your content away free to 20,000 people, and they want to get a chance to meet the author. That really kind of runs right into building strong relationships, being authentic right off the get-go, thinking about how you can make a difference or add value in their world, instead of just how can I make this sale, how can I get something in return. And I think that's a perspective with entrepreneurs that just works so much better to give value and think about how you can make that difference.
So true.
All right, so building strong relationships. The clients that really gain traction and scale significantly are always creating new ways to share value and make a difference before asking for anything in return. That's just a little bit of what I went over. Now here's some tactical strategies here for building strong relationships. First is split testing. Guys, if you don't know what split testing is, some people refer to it as A/B testing. All it means is that you're testing different subject lines, images, emails, postcards, landing pages. The reason we do this is so that we don't waste our time on content that nobody really connects with.
If I may add a note to that, some of us may think that we're really good at writing, but it doesn't mean that you should only write it once. It turns out that there's different ways to communicate with people, as you're saying, and you should always try to improve. Everything you do should be tested against something else that's consistent, and that way you can test new ways to talk about your product or service, and that's really what split testing gives us.
That's absolutely right. That's right. Okay, so next we have reusing content. Reusing content is awesome because you're going to put the effort into it the first time, but what about the 95% of people that haven't yet seen it? You want to make sure that it's there for that at any time of day on any device for them to view.
Yeah.
Avoiding unsubscribes, right? This is the one that I think everybody would really like more of. We don't want those unsubscribes. So what do? Something that I've seen work that's a very simple fix is on the unsubscribe page, are you just offering them to unsubscribe from everything? A lot of people do that. You can give them a choice, take me off this series of emails or this sequence, or take me off of all of them. Most people aren't going to unsubscribe from everything the first time. The first time is kind of your first chance. So make sure you give them the option and you don't default to having your contacts opt out of everything.
Yeah, very wise.
Access to your content. This goes back to reusing your content. Just make sure that it's available in all channels, on all devices, and very clean and visible to see.
Mm-hmm.
And the last we have is channels beyond email. So I just hit on this a few minutes ago, but in a sequence or a funnel, we can implement more than just emails. We can do postcards, we can do text messages, tasks to automate internal workflows. So this is kind of really looking at how you interact with your clients and leads on a daily basis and accounting for all the things that you have to do internally, as well as how to stay touched with these contacts 24/7.
Very wise.
Okay, so here is one of my favorite clients, and I think she's a favorite of most everybody at ONTRAPORT. Marie Forleo is just brilliant at building relationships, and she has such a following, such a tribe that are loyal to her. What I really like and what I want to point out here is her content and the way she connects with you initially. A couple of these blog posts that she put up is, what should I do with my life? Wait, don't answer that. Right? You don't feel resistance when you're reading that. You just kind of connect with it, and it's coming from an authentic, relatable place.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Another one is, do you let criticism stop you? Right? I think we all do to a degree. So how to insult-proof your ego. I like how she comes from a place of relating and vulnerability, and so you don't feel like you're being sold something. You actually want to know what she's thought out, what she really feels about that.
Yeah, she's helpful first, and then you want to be more part of that helpfulness and use her techniques. That's great.
Exactly. Okay, so tip number 3, create a high engagement automated system to keep your contacts interested. Automation saves you time and is your best employee. So creating a high engaged automated system boils down to really thinking out your processes. I'd say 90% of the clients I talk to have room for improvement in areas that they need to streamline to save both time and money. So this is just thinking through the processes that are going to happen the same way today as they'll happen next month and the month after. We just need to put a scalable framework in place that makes it easier for you day to day and brings in more revenue and more leads.
Very wise.
Okay, so we can learn and optimize from what we test in an automated system, and that feedback equates to consistently higher conversion. So Josh, you've already said it, and I think I'm going to say it a few times in this presentation. You have to be measuring, right? You have to have something comparable to measure against to be able to determine what's working well and what needs some improvement.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Once you have discovered the right content and created the right system, you will not only have excellent experiences, but they will be repeatable and dependable. So for me, when I started here as an employee, I had all of these recurring tasks, emails, phone calls, training calls that I had to do, and I had a very full calendar, and I was spending a lot of my time trying to play catch up to who I promised what to and what I need to do next. Over the past 3 years, since we've implemented ONTRAPORT ourselves, it's just made things so much easier. I have tasks that let me know when to make a phone call. If somebody goes to the website 3 times on the order form but doesn't check out or buy anything within 2 weeks, I get a task to give my most engaged leads a call. So these are just really great ways to simplify your life while increasing your business, increasing your revenue.
That's great.
Okay, so next is process mapping. This is probably my favorite part of the job because it's not a one-size-fits-all product, and it's definitely not a one-size-fits-all plan. So with process mapping, what we do is we run through all of your daily processes, different team members, tasks that need to be done, the way leads and customers come through, and fulfillment. And once we can see this process map laid out, I can actually show you exactly what you're doing that you don't need to be doing any longer.
Yeah, that's great. So those of you that are watching the video, a process map is really where somebody very wise, like Dan, sits down with you and says, okay, what business are you in, and what do your customers say about you? And then they go, where do your leads come from? Do they come from Google AdWords, word of mouth, postcards, your email list, your website? They look at the inputs, they look at your business, your service, your product, and then they look at the outputs. How do you upsell? What are you doing with that? And they map it out physically on a board, and they share it with you, and it makes you rethink your business. What is your value? How can you make more money off of the same amount of customers, and then how can you grow to more customers to really turn that into something that's logarithmic? It's really cool. It's something I recommend, and a bunch of people have done this with me, and I loved it. And the neat thing about this, and correct me if I'm wrong, Dan, is you're offering this to people that are watching this video. If you click this screen right now, those of you that are watching the replay, you'll be able to be taken to a demo, and Dan or one of his team members will give you a process map opportunity. Is that correct?
That's absolutely right, Josh. And this really is so surprising to most of my clients to actually see that they know their business so well, and when they visually see that, they go, "Oh, you're right, Dan. That's where we should eliminate that task. We need to implement something that reminds me, so I don't have to keep thinking about it."
Exactly. Cool.
Awesome. So yep, happy to do that for you guys. Demo and strategy call, absolutely. To finish up here, creating a high engaged automated system. Brandy Michaels and Vinka Hart are not agency, but what they are authors that hit the #1 best-selling list. And the way that they did that is through advanced segmentation. So instead of wasting their time and their email sends on machine gun fire marketing, they were able to have precision accuracy on who to send what content to, when, and in what channels. So using ONTRAPORT, they've just absolutely done a stellar job of segmentation, and because of that, they have insanely high conversions. And that's what we'll take a look at here, Josh. What we're looking at is the results. So before they met, they were running 2 separate ventures, and they came together and brought everything into ONTRAPORT as one unified system.
Yeah, and so that's that top area right there. 2 businesses on the left, and on the right is 1 business, 1 unified software solution, which is really smart.
That's right. Now, next is leads. So they had no segmented lead base. So they just had a big jumble pool of leads, and they crossed their fingers and hoped that some people would buy. Now they have one of the most advanced and amazing segmentation systems I've seen. So they're able to just really know all of their different customers, all of their demographics. Email contact. So they've grown that from 3,000 up to 14,000 since they started. So that's 4x growth right there, guys.
Yeah. And then this is where it gets interesting, conversion. They had no tracking of conversion rates, and now they have a 50% conversion rate, which means 1 in every 2 people that visit the site do something, whether opting in or whether they buy a product. And this seems ridiculously high. It almost seems as though it's an error. Almost it seems as though it should have the 0 is an error. But technically, they're getting high conversion rates because up at the top in the leads area, they're highly segmenting things. So they're basically saying, hey, you visited one of our webinars in the past on this topic. We have that topic available now on a little product that you can purchase. Now's the time to grab it. Go get it today. And because it's so specific, they're able to spend less time converting the right people instead of shotgunning and try and convert everybody. Am I right there?
That's absolutely right, Josh. And so in ONTRAPORT, we call those rules active response rules, and that's exactly right. You're basing your marketing off of their engagement or their behaviors. So the person who just joined and doesn't really know you yet should be get a really fast marketing campaign, or they should just kind of get a few touch points. But then again, the other person who's really engaged and close to buy and just left the order form today because they got distracted, you want to know about that. That's a customer just waiting for you to ask for the sale, just waiting to offer.
So true.
Okay, so this one is simple, and it makes such a difference in gaining traction and really just getting the most out of your marketing efforts. And it's to start simple and build out. So many people they come looking at an all-in-one marketing solution for a reason, and they have the why right there in their head. And after they get into the system and they see all the pretty toys and all the different buttons, they start to try to think about how to use everything and set everything up all as fast as they can. But the problem with that is they lost sight of the why, and just keeping it simple is going to help you to make your business better, eradicate those pain points that you've been experiencing.
Yeah, very true.
Okay, so let me go down to Liesel. So when it comes to starting simple, Liesel I spoke with her years ago, and she had an idea. She was doing one-to-one consultations at a physical location. It's not very scalable, and she was trading a lot of time for money. So what we did is, her why and her reason for looking was, how do I take this one to many? How do I maximize my time and still grow my business? And so now she does virtual consultations that are, again, very segmented, very specific. So all of her appointments are already set up for her. Her calendar fills up, and she's doing one-to-many presentations, and she's absolutely crushed it in revenue, growing her list and her client base, as you can see here.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay, how to measure marketing performance. What can be measured can be managed. This is just so true, as I found out in my own ventures, right? Even if it's something as simple as trying to get the best email open rate you can get, you have to keep an eye on different split tests. You have to see, what is success and what does that look like.
Yeah, and that's very important. Everything should be measured, and that's why it's great the decade that we live in. Back in the day, they used to have a phrase that says, "I know that 50% of my advertising's working, I just don't know which 50%." But nowadays, we don't have that reason anymore. We don't have that excuse. We can now track every click, every email. We know we can go down to the granular level on every customer within a system like ONTRAPORT and see what are they opening, what are they responding to.
That's right. That's exactly right. And in the spirit of measuring, what we're looking at here is dashboard in ONTRAPORT. And no matter what you use as an all-in-one solution, making sure that you have a dashboard that you can easily customize and look at not only the reporting that's already there, but being able to tailor that to your own metrics.
Yeah.
In other words, that you want to, maybe one day you think, well, I'd really like to see how long it takes from a person logging in from this landing page or opting in from this landing page to buying this particular product. That's a very specific metric, but it matters to you, and it matters where your focus is at. So Dashboard gives you the ability to really measure your own metrics instead of just look at simple things like sales and unsubscribes and click rate and clicks. Even though these are important, guys, I'm just really putting emphasis on the fact that measuring your own customizable goals is awesome.
Yeah, that's a cool dashboard.
Okay, and wrapping up with tip 5, how to measure marketing performance. With Dane Maxwell, he saw a 500% increase in revenue over 12 months. How did he do that? So first of all, Dane focused his attention on building out great funnels, as we discussed in the first one, building great relationships, tip number 2, and creating a system that didn't rely on him all the time. It would work 24/7, and it wouldn't drop any balls. So by following the tips that we talked about today, plus having a little bit of genius added, he has been able to come and bring his revenue from $150,000 a year up to $750,000. And we were just talking, Josh, it's even higher than that now. So his trajectory is just awesome. Very bright future for that business.
Yeah, he's a pretty sharp guy too.
Customer base grew substantially from 80 to 336, again, probably higher now.
Yeah.
And he went from being a solopreneur to being able to have a business partner, employees, contractors, all the while managing them from one platform, one system.
Yeah.
All right, Josh. So what I want to kind of go over here is today's offer. We are obviously very grateful to do this presentation with you, and I just wanted to let you know what consists of coming on board with ONTRAPORT. There's definitely a process that we've put in place over the past 8 years that's tailored towards gaining traction and helping you to get started and see an ROI as fast as possible. And just to run through the bullet points here, we do 2 one-hour sessions of onboarding and strategy that enables you to do a mapping call with me, in other words, a blueprint, come up with what we really want to be done and what improvement we want to see, and then we'll pass that off to a building team that will actually implement and execute on that for you.
Yeah. So just real quick, those of you that are watching the video, look, I am obviously a believer in marketing automation. I'm a believer in stopping the solopreneur and starting a way that we can have something dedicated that works every time. And I think that the first thing you need to do is realize that there's other people that can help you with your business, and that's where this 2 hours of onboarding and strategy comes in. Anytime that you can show your business to other people for a couple hours for free, and that's today's offer, is this: if you sign up and you figure out that this is the right fit to grow your business, you'll get 2 one-hour sessions with the ONTRAPORT team, which is amazing. They're going to find out what business you're really in. Even though you think you're in a certain business, they're going to say, all right, but I think your customers are saying this is the value. Have you ever thought of upgrading to this and segmenting it out? That is invaluable. Anytime you can do this, even if you don't sign up for ONTRAPORT, you need somebody to look at your business that's very wise, that looks at a lot of companies. And then we put the done for you there next to concierge, because that's really what this is. You do not need to build stuff out anymore, my friends. You need to start getting smart people that are scrappy, that can build it out for you, and you need to give them your ideas. You need to teach them what works on your company and have them run away and come back with a done solution. And that's what ONTRAPORT's offering today. And then there's a Facebook user community. Dan, what is that?
Yeah, so the Facebook user community is awesome because it's our users in a private group that can answer questions and create discussions between each other. All of our most advanced users are on there, and the full spectrum, even brand new newbies coming into the system. It's just great to be able to kind of have Big Brother there to let you know new use cases, new integrations, new ways to do things.
Now, I was kind of being facetious when I said, what is that? And the reason I'm saying that is because if you own or operate your own business, you want to hang out with other people that own or operate their other business. And that Facebook user community is the chance to do that. You're talking with real people that have gone through the same struggles as you in different industries, but they have a lot of parallel solutions, and they have maybe overhead in certain sizes, and you can share your tips and tactics. I think that's important. Now, the last bullet is obvious. Customer support team. We've come to know and expect that from some of the world's best brands. You can call them anytime. Now, normally this offer, and I don't want to sound like I'm selling you because I'm not. I've helped many of you that are watching this video with lots of different stuff over the years, whether it's teaching you the world's best email layout or how to tweet or what we've done for some of the biggest brands or how to be light, bright, and polite. I give you all of my content for free. But today we're offering you something really cool, which is these 2 onboarding strategy sessions, a 1-hour piece, a done-for-you solution, Facebook user community. Normally this is quite a bit of money. With other solutions out there, this is multiple thousands of dollars, and it takes a long time, and there's a commitment. But today, here's what I want to offer you. I want to offer you the chance to have a dedicated employee. Let's go to the next slide here, Dan. I want to offer you the chance to have a dedicated employee and grow your business with ONTRAPORT, an error-proof employee. Now, let me be more clear about that. Normally, employees, if you live where I live in Santa Monica, California, they can be very, very expensive. It's a lot of money, and I love putting people to work because as an employer, I'm able to teach people and do that. But what if you could have an error-proof employee for just $300 a month, not the thousands of dollars that it costs with overhead and healthcare and everything, but what if somebody could follow up on every one of your leads, help you with tracking, and do all this really cool stuff for $300 a month? and they could then communicate with 25,000 contacts. That's right, that's your list. They go from leads to prospects to customers, and we're going to call them contacts right now. You can have up to 25,000 emails, communicate with them 4 times a month, however many you want to. There's really no limitations on this. $297 gets you 25,000 contacts that you can start to grow. Now, you might be starting with 500 contacts, maybe even 5 contacts, but my friends at Ontraport are going to show you how to grow from 5 to 25,000 contacts and to start automating your company like I'm doing right now. You can tell I'm really pumped about this. I've taken over the webinar. I'm no longer letting you present, Dan. I'm sorry for that, but this is how good this offer is. Now, here's the best part.
I love it. Go for it.
If you're like me and you have 2 different businesses, I have MediaLeaders.com, which trains some of the world's best companies how to run their business, and then I have SafeSmartSocial.com, which trains families how to show their kids how to impress colleges and employers using social media. I can run multiple ventures from one system, and I can also have multiple people log in at the same time, which is kind of a big deal. They're not being stingy here at Ontraport. They're saying, look, we want to grow with you. We want you to stop being the solopreneur. We want you to start looking like a machine, like you have a whole team behind you. And that's where this error-proof employee comes in. $300 a month. There's no hidden fees. There's no commitment. There's a money-back guarantee, and I'll back this too. If you don't like Ontraport, look, I'll step in personally as Josh Oakes and say, I think you're really going to like these people very much so. In fact, what does that look like? What do these people look like? Let's go to the next slide.
Of course.
I think we have right here. Here's the support team. You're talking to real people based here in California, but they're on all kinds of different time zones. They will help you to make sure that your business goes from solopreneur to knocking it out of the parkpreneur. That's what I want for you. I've been able to do that. With people like Ontraport on my team, I'm able to have the smartest entrepreneurs in my back pocket. If I have an issue, I can call them. If I have an idea, they've already done it with some other company. They'll show me how to save time and implement it. And I hope that you guys will join us today. You can click anywhere on the screen or below this video to get that $297 deal, but you're going to get, and you can't get this anywhere else. Let's go back 2 slides to our offer. You can't get this anywhere else. 2 hours of onboarding. Normally that costs several hundreds of dollars. This is like a $500 offer that they're giving you through Media Leaders. You're also going to get the done-for-you solution, which you really can't get anywhere else. The Facebook user community, you're going to get invited into that with a bunch of entrepreneurs and that customer support team, which is just rock solid. Let's go to the last slide. How can people learn more about this? You can visit MediaLeaders.com/Ontraport, or click the screen right now, or you can click the link below, and you're going to learn more about how you can quickly schedule a demo. You're also going to be able to tell them, hey, I'm with Josh. I'm with Media Leaders. I want the hookup. I want to spend time on the phone with people that are going to listen to me, that are going to learn about my business and give me tactical ideas on how to grow my business so that I can then stop being a solopreneur that's overworked and overstressed and has too many Post-its on their computer screen, but rather has a streamlined system so I know where every contact is at every moment of every day. I know who to call that's about ready to buy, and I know who was about to buy that left. All this good stuff. As you can see, I get pumped, and I didn't even plan on doing this talking, but this is, I believe, very much in automating my business so that I can grow my business. And I hope that you'll truly join us and take Ontraport up on this offer that they've given my team here at Media Leaders. You're going to get basically $500 in cool resources, which is different calls, and this whole team, and into this Facebook community. Also, you know what? If you click on this and you take the demo, I'm going to give you a free upgrade. I'm going to give you a copy of my brand new book, Light, Bright, and Polite, How to Use Social Media to Impress Colleges and Employers. You can give this book to a loved one in your life that's anywhere from 8 to 18 years old, and they can then start impressing the college of their dreams. It's my free gift to you. If you fill out the demo and you forward it to josh@MediaLeaders.com, I will gladly send you a copy of my book. I'm so pumped. Hey, Dan, I want to thank you for being on the video.
Josh, thanks so much for having me. It was great today, and I really appreciate it. And like you said, if anybody wants to schedule a demo, I'm happy to do that, and as well as the strategy call, and go from there.
I'm so pumped. Those of you watching this video, I want to thank you for being with us today. This is really great. Any questions, click the links below or visit MediaLeaders.com to learn more about how marketing automation can help you grow your business in 2015. Thanks everybody for watching. I'll talk to you soon. As always, keep it light, bright, and polite.